Hi, ladies. We just want to welcome you tonight. Thanks for spending some time to meet with us and learn a little bit more about Camp Saras. I'm Michelle Russo. I'm the Eastern Region Regional Director. So I'm in charge of St. James, Farmingdale, Deer Park, and what am I missing campus? St. James.
Melville.
Melville. Thank you.
Melville.
I knew I was missing one. And I have with me Alex. She's going to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm actually the program director at the St. James campus. So I'm kind of in charge of making sure the camp day runs well, the different activities you see. Pretty much if the kids are having a good time, it means I did my job right.
That's right. She's very good at it too. So tonight we're going to begin the evening by giving you a brief camp history and information about our staff, our campers, our programming, our health and wellness, and our continued navigation through COVID-19. We're happy to provide any responses to any questions you have. If we can't answer them, we'll find out the answers for you. Or if you have questions after, you can email info@campsaras.org and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So with this webinar tonight, you guys can actually interact with us. So if you want to unmute and ask questions as we go along, you are more than welcome to. I'm going to actually mute myself because Alex is going to take the helm on this one since she is well versed in the campus. It is not my home campus to give you the rundown. All right, Alex, just tell me when you want the next slides.
Sure, you just got to share your screen, Michelle.
Right. I've got to unshared it. Share screen. We're good.
All right, so this is for the St. James campus. I have been the program director since we have been open. So this is my 4th summer at St. James, but this is my 7th summer in a higher up position with Camp Saras. But this is also, I've been with Camp Saras since 1996. So it's been a while. I don't want to do the math, but it's been a while. I've been there for a really long time. So we'll go to the first slide and we'll start going through our presentation. So the first thing that we will start with is how arrival and dismissal works. Actually, you know what, Michelle, do you want to do a little bit about camp background first, about Camp Saras a little bit, and then we'll work into the arrival and dismissal?
Sure, I can do a little bit about camp background. So Camp Saras is a family-run business. It started being all different names of camps, and they were always housed at parochial schools. It started because the founders of the camp actually could not afford day camp for their children. So since they couldn't do that, they created their own camp. In the late 90s, we became Camp Saras, and now we currently are opening our 11th campus. Our newest one is in Melville, which I couldn't remember, but I'm in charge of, which is great. We have our newest campus in Melville, and we've been growing. Alex, the last 4 years, we've added 4 camps. So every year we're adding camps, which is wonderful. So what we really keep is the family traditions. We are one big family. Here's my littlest camper. Okay, buddy. Here's my littlest camper whose head's cut off from here, but that's okay. So it's really one big happy family. We keep, one second, please. We keep regular camp traditions, which Alex is going to tell you about. And last year we successfully navigated through COVID-19, having a 0% transmission rate. All right, Alex, take it away with arrival and dismissal.
Sure. So the way we did arrival and dismissal last year, Michelle, could you actually go forward? I think it's 1 or 2 slides to show the pictures of arrival and dismissal. So that's our campus. That is the St. James campus. So the pickup and drop off is right in the front. You could kind of see a tent right in the walkway. That's where your child will be dropped off and picked up every day. You can kind of see behind the school, that's where we have our blacktop. We have our playground. We have our fields. The blacktop is closed off for cars throughout the day. We do lock them every morning, so the kids are safe back there. No one can kind of drive in and out. It's locked down just for our campus. All right, Michelle, if you can go to the next slide for arrival and dismissal. So the way we used to do arrival pre-COVID was you'd be able to walk up, you'd be able to walk in the building, drop your child off, at pickup, the same thing. But we kind of did a little differently now because of COVID. So the way it works is you actually are going to almost do what's called a valet arrival and dismissal. So you pull up in your car with your child. You wait in a line, usually about there's 2 or 3 families at once. A health designee will come. They will come take your child's temperature and they will ask you a series of questions. Do you have any symptoms? Have you been exposed? I think we've all heard the COVID screening questions in the past year from random places. So once your child is has been screened, they have no temperature, they're feeling fine, they are allowed to come out of the car. They are walked inside by a staff member and they are dropped off at what's called their hub, and it is a classroom designated for their age group. Once they're in that hub, their masks are allowed to come off since they have passed the screening. The way we kind of think of the groups is an extended version of your family. So if you are being safe, then obviously the campers are going to be safe. So we let them keep their masks off only when they're with children of their own age. If there is ever mixing, so when they walk in the hallway, if they're watching an event, the masks go on and they do stay 6 feet apart, but we do make them keep their masks on just to be safe. And then as they walk in, they do wash their hands and hand sanitize to make sure. Some campuses do have a hand washing station outside. If their campus does not, they are walked directly to the bathroom to wash their hands before they even enter their classroom. And then for pickup, it is the same thing. You pull up with your car. I give about the first week or 2, we will ask you for your license just to make sure the child is going home with the correct adult. I say about a week or 2, we'll know your car from across the parking lot. So you won't have to worry as much. If for any reason there's somebody that's picking up your child that is not normally you, you can call the campus or on your Camp in Touch account, write that there's another designated person that could pick up your child, and they will have to bring a photo ID. And at pickup and drop off, we ask that everyone is wearing masks, you as well, besides just the campers. The staff will always have masks on, and that's pretty much how arrival and dismissal works. Is there any questions about arrival or dismissal before we move on to the next part of the presentation? No? And if you have any questions as I'm talking.
What time should the campers arrive? Should they arrive 15 minutes early?
No, so camp drop off is anywhere between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. So whatever time works best for you, you just drop them off. There is somebody outside between those hours. If you need earlier drop off, we do start at 7:30. There is staff on campus, whether you need it or not. You don't need to call ahead. There is somebody always there. And then dismissal is anywhere between 4 and 5. So anytime you want to come, we have staff there. If you need to stay longer, we do have extended care until 6. Again, you don't need to call ahead. Someone is always there. But if you ever need to pick up your child early throughout the day, just give us a heads up in the morning so we can make sure they're all packed. Or if it's like a last minute, just call the campus. We'll make sure their bags are ready and the kid is ready to go. If you have to pick up earlier than between 4 and 5. Did that answer that question?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, this is my first open house where I'm taking the reins. I'm a little nervous. Usually my campus director is with me and I'm her helper.
You're doing a great job. It's perfect.
Thank you. All right, I guess we'll go to the next one. Okay, Michelle, do you want to talk a little bit about how we navigated through COVID?
Okay, so I'll take over for a second here. So last year, as we all know, as our kids were pulled out of school, schools were shut. Are we going back? Are camps even opening? We had a lot of changes to make in about 30 days when Cuomo said camps could open. We did those very well. We reprogrammed our entire camp where we were traveling multiple times a week. We kept everything home based to create new traditions. We brought in new programs. The feedback we got from it was a lot of the families actually preferred that. It was a different environment. We had to navigate through masks, no masks, who had to be masked, when they had to be masked. And we're proud to say of our 10 campuses, as I said, we had a 0 transmission rate throughout the campuses. And currently just still navigating through in 2021, we're still waiting for some exact guidance. And if you're on our Facebook pages, you've seen that as well. We're waiting for the CDC to say what our ratios need to be, things like that. Our busing, we do have off-campus trips planned this year, just a little different because of all the different recommendations from the CDC. but we brought in many new programs last year that we're keeping this year. And this year, rumor has it that we will all have a water activity, a large water activity at each campus this year, which the kids really enjoyed. There were large, like inflatable slip-in slides that sprayed water into a big pool is the best way to explain it. The kids really enjoyed that. Even our older kids who normally don't like our splash period, which Alex will get into when we talk about programming a little bit, we're out there every day, like, are we getting splashed today? So it was really nice to see. I'll go to the next slide. So I already talked about this and what's going on with COVID. Okay, Alex.
So this is what the camp day looks like. So the camp day starts about 9 o'clock. That's when drop off kind of, ends. The kids are all in their hubs. And normally every day we have what's called a breakout challenge. It's something to get the kids, excited for the day. Before COVID, I'm not sure what this summer will look like just yet. We are still waiting, like Michelle said, for CDC guidelines. But everyone was in one spot, whether it be the gym, the auditorium, whatever location your gym had. In St. James, we happen to use the gym. And then we do a challenge versus each other, gets the kids engaged, gets the kids involved, gets the staff involved. Last year, the way that our campus did it, because we were not allowed to be in a shared space between age groups, was it would be the same activity done in the hubs. So say it was the hula hoop where you hold the hands and you got to get your whole body through. Each age group would do it in their hub with a counselor at the door. And the second that group was done, they would yell, "We're done." And that group got to be the winner for that day. So they were still getting to do their breakout challenge, just in kind of a more spaced out way, just to keep everybody safe. So after breakout, the kids go into what's called a schedule, just like, a regular school schedule. It's anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on how the schedule looks for that campus, how many activities you have, how many groups you have. Some groups, they're a little bit more condensed. Some groups, they're bigger, depending on if you're a bigger campus. And we range from anywhere from playground, the splash zone, which Michelle was talking about, it's our sprinklers. So last year we did have an inflatable slip and slide that would come. We do have arts and crafts. We have gym, dance, gaga pits, go-karts. We do have what we call an arcade. Not every group goes every day, so I don't want you worrying that your kids are going to be sitting in front of a video game all day long. It's usually every other day they get to go for 45 minutes, and they have, I think we have an Xbox, a PlayStation. I don't really know many video games, but the kids enjoy it, and they all play group games, so all the kids get to play together, which is great. And then in that room, we also have ping pong, a pool table, foosball, and air hockey. So there's a whole bunch of different activities they do throughout the day. They do get a lunch period. Last year, we did make it mandated at our campus for all of our kids to get a snack break. That way they were able to go back into their hubs, take their masks off if they needed, sit in the air conditioning, take a break. Parents would usually pack an extra snack for this period, an extra water bottle, just something small, a bag of goldfish, an apple, just to get them a little bit of time to just kind of cool down, have a little bit of food. Depending on where their lunch break falls, some kids have lunch really early, so they'd have their snack in the afternoon, or vice versa. And then at the end of the day, during what's called our wind down period, that's when we all kind of watch a movie at the end of the day. It's when everyone gets picked up. So between that 4 to 5 hour, sorry, brain fart, the kids sit and they watch a movie and they get to relax. But during that time, we also pulled out for electives. So we had a dance club, a jewelry making club, a Rubik's Cube club, a chess club, a video game club. And then during that time, they are pulled out with various staff members to have these electives once to twice a week, depending on when they rotate. We had crew news where the kids would put on a little news channel. We had a yearbook club. So we have a lot of different electives that the kids have a choice to at the end of the day. And then on top of that, we also have EduCamp, which is almost like a tutoring. It's a math and reading twice a week to kind of stop the summer slump. Soccer shots, and then another dance club on top of their regular elective dance as well. So the kids have a ton of stuff to do throughout the day. They're never, ever bored. The staff is never, ever bored. I can guarantee you most children fall asleep on the way home in the car if they're not already sleeping during wind down when they're watching their movie. So is there any questions about the camp day, the activities that we do? anything like that. This is just a daily, everyday schedule. We do have special ones depending on the day as well.
So my son is 12 years old. So for the 12-year-old kids, what kind of off-campus things do you do? Is there the beach, the park, or like what is done?
So the age groups do vary with field trips. This year we were just given the schedule. Michelle, do you happen to have that in front of you?
I am looking it up right now. So what grade did is your child currently in?
He's in 7th grade and he's 12.
Okay, so he's going to be in our 7-8 group. So let me just pull that up. And then
Two
now, do you
trips
wanna
I
talk
do
about how
know.
their days a little different because they're the older ones than compared to our younger.
Sure. So the older kids do have the opportunity to go to every activity, just like the little ones, but everything's kind of geared more towards older kids. So when they go to gym, instead of playing dodgeball, they work more on skills. So they focus on, say, for basketball, they're going to focus on shooting the ball, dribbling the ball, kind of working on those skills. It's a lot more kind of working together. Again, geared towards the older kids. I do know 2 of the field trips that are available for the off-campus trips for the older kids are swimming and bowling, as well as the Metch trip, which is an additional fee. And I don't know if we're going to the movies this summer, but that is usually a field trip as well. But I don't know with the COVID rules, what trips we are allowed to and we are not allowed to. The calendars were just sent out earlier this week.
Yeah, so currently with the CDC guidelines for theaters, we are not eligible for that. But if those change, then our calendars may change. I'm sorry, it's just my internet is very slow on my phone right now. So just give me 1 sec.
Here, would you like me to look it up, Michelle?
I think I have it now. It's like swirling. Camp calendars. Here we go.
I have it. So for your son, the trips that are available for him are Adventureland, the Metch trip, iFly. It looks like a trapeze artist from the picture, and Coney Island. So those seem to be the trips for his 7-8 group. I will say for the past 3 summers, our 5, 6, and 7-8 group have been merged together. Because we had smaller numbers for that age group. So the children were actually given an option as to which trips they wanted to go on, whether it be the trips geared towards 5, 6 or the trips geared towards 7, 8. So they were given the option, and as a whole collective group, they did vote on it. Usually the 7, 8 trips won because they're a little bit cooler. They get to do a little bit more things than the 5, 6s. But that is also something that our campus has allowed. Not every campus does, but ours is quite a small campus. So we do kind of give the kids some freedom to do that as well. Some of our 7, 8s also do like to help out with some of the younger campers. So we do let them kind of jump in to the littler kids to help them outside or to help, walk them in the hallway, just to kind of give them a little feel that they are helping the kids as well.
So what do you do on days that it's like a rainy day?
So we have a rainy day schedule. So all they would do is just rotate their inside activities. So their gym would be moved inside, their arts and crafts. We still have STEM. We could bring the Gaga pits inside. We could play gym inside. They can have their video games inside. Last year, we actually, believe it or not, had a giant duck duck goose game with the entire campus inside. And let me tell you, I've never seen 7th and 8th graders so competitive against a kindergartner. It was the cutest thing. They were so excited to play with each other and kind of get to hang out. We've had them in the hallway where they're singing along with each other and they're having fun. So when it is a rainy day, the kids never really miss out on anything. They just get more inside activities, and we bring a lot of the outside inside, if that makes sense.
What kind
Okay.
of trips would be available for kids in grades?
Oh, I'm sorry, you cut out. In what grades?
I think we lost her.
I think we might have.
They're in 2nd grade now.
2nd grade now. So the
Yes.
trips available to them are mini golf, Adventureland, and that is it. But on top of those, I can just go through some of the theme days that we do have this year. And then the theme days kind of fall on me to make activities based on what that theme is. So for example, we have Willy Wonka Day. We have a Wild and Wacky Challenge that does come to our campus. It is a giant game show. So they get to pie the counselors in the face. We get to slime the kids. The kids have a great time. They throw like rubber chickens at each other and they all have a great time and laugh. It's a great time. Then we also have Disney Day. We have a step team coming. We have a Star Wars Day. We have Halloween in the summer. We have Pajama Day. We have Shades Big Shindig. So Shades is our mascot. He's the sun that you see on everything, on all of our promotions. And it is his birthday in the summer. So we bring a carnival on campus. We have cotton candy, snow cones, popcorn, burgers for the kids. And then on top of that, we also have all of the old school carnival games. So the bottle stack, the one where you roll the bowling ball, and the kids get carnival tickets, and then they get to win prizes throughout the day. They get to dunk their counselors. It's a lot of fun for everyone. It's one of the days that kids love the most. Then we also have Harry Potter Day, a camouflage day, Blast from the Past Day, Winter and Summer Day, Dr. Seuss Day, a summer food festival. We have our Color War, which is a 3-day field day, essentially. The campus split in two between blue team and orange team. And then you compete for points, whether it's anything from winning a game to cleaning up your lunch, right? You get points for everything, listening, helping someone pick up garbage, not making a lot of noise at lunch, right? If you kind of keep the volume down. So that's a lot of fun. The kids love that as well. A petting zoo comes to camp. There's a talent show. So there's a lot packed into the summer.
There you
So
go,
the
Alex.
kids there we go. We have the calendar. So this is the calendar for the first half of the summer. So the first 4 weeks. So as you could tell, as we go through, there's all the different days. We do have a Pinewood Derby. The kids get to race derby cars. 4 days, such as the Halloween, right? The kids get to wear their costumes. And then all of our activities we have are based around Halloween. So we usually do some sort of edible craft for Halloween. We always do Rice Krispie monsters. They dip them in chocolate and put like little googly eyes on them and they get to eat them. For in winter and summer, we make snow outside. That's our like STEM project. We make snow out of shaving cream. We get to throw snowballs at each other. I usually make snowballs out of yarn. You see me the week before tying them into little balls, and they have a snowball fight in gym. Sometimes the kids, when they're done having the snowball fight, like to shovel the snow. We get the shovel out and they shovel in all the little snowballs. So they have a ton of stuff and a ton of fun stuff to do on campus as well as when we go off campus.
How many counselors are there in the older kids group? Is it one counselor per group or 2 counselors?
Normally it's 1 counselor per the child's age group or per the child's age. So if we take a 7-year-old, it's 1 counselor per every 7 children. But we are still waiting on CDC guidelines for ratios. So that I'm not entirely sure about just yet, because we don't know how, if we're going to need more staff because of CDC or smaller groups. Normally though, sorry, what was that?
Do you have a nurse on staff? Because my son has asthma. So if he ever needed like any medication or anything, is there a nurse on staff
So we do not have a nurse on staff, but we do have health designees that get trained in anaphylaxis, how to use the AED machine, first aid, and CPR. So we do have people on campus every day that are trained in those areas.
What if he needed an asthma treatment while he was there?
Is he on a nebulizer?
He has a asthma pump with a spacer, and he also has a nebulizer.
Okay, so that's really going to be a question. Although we do not have a nurse at each camp, we do have a health director. That's really going to be a question for her. Normally, children who receive medication during the day, it's given to them by the campus director. Just to be very honest, in the past years that I've been there, I have not had a nebulizer on campus. So we're really going to have to look into that with our health director. So that you could just send an email to info@campsorus.org and they can give you the exact answer. Because I'm sure we do have protocol for that, but I'm just not aware of it.
Okay, because I have a spare nebulizer machine and tubing and the medication for him. And
Yeah.
he also has his asthma
The
pump.
pump. Yeah, the pump's no problem. That I know we've had plenty of kids that have the pump. Every group, their group leader is a health designee. So that person is trained. But as far as the nebulizer, that's really for our health director to answer that question. So you can either email her or I can forward her your information and she'll get back to you.
What about Advil and Benadryl? Like, is that
So-
something?
So Advil, no over the counter. Benadryl everything has to come with doctor's orders
Okay.
and have the child's prescription name on it. So if they have an EpiPen with Benadryl, all those orders have to be written out for us.
What if it's an over-the-counter Benadryl and over-the-counter Advil?
The over-the-counter Benadryl's been fine. Again, with the pain relievers, that really has to go through our health director, because I even know in like schools, there's certain fine line protocols with the over-the-counters. So we'd really have to discuss that with our health director, or you'd have to discuss it with the health director.
Okay.
Hi, my son wants to know if for your Halloween day, if he is allowed to wear his blow up Halloween costume.
He is. I would just suggest that you do bring a change of clothes because it is hot. We do always have a Halloween parade that the kids walk around and show each other their costumes. So he can always take it off in the middle of the day, put his regular clothes on and put his costume back on for the parade, but totally fine with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Michelle, I guess we'll go to the next slide.
Are there any costumes that aren't allowed, like face masks and stuff like that?
So every costume is allowed. We just ask that we don't wear the face mask. For one, it's very hot and we need to be able to see if they have their regular face mask on. And obviously, if there's any sort of toy that could be a weapon with that costume, just leave that at home. But if he wants to be, say, Black Panther, for example, I know there's like a mask that comes with it. He can wear the whole outfit, just keep the mask at home, or he could bring the mask just for the Halloween parade. But if he wants to wear his costume all day, we do say no to the mask, except for the parade.
Okay.
Okay, let me just get back to the regular.
Sure. Is there any more questions about how kind of the day looks or the different days that we have or the different activities that we do? I know we're throwing a lot at you. I know it's a lot of information.
So for any trips outside, like to Adventureland, the Bronx Zoo, the Mets games, the permission slip have to be filled out?
So for any trip that's included with the price, when you sign up for camp, it is automatically assumed your child is going to go. For some of the trips, such as the Mets game, it is an extra fee. You will have to pay on your Camp in Touch account. And then once that's paid, that's kind of your permission slip once it's signed. But if you don't want your child to go on any trips, you just let us know and then they'll stay back with the rest of the kids on campus. Because when one group goes to a field trip, the rest stay back and have their regular old camp day.
When they go out for swimming, is it like a local beach? Is it at the ocean? Is it
No, it's
Smithtown
it's
pool?
at the Smithtown Landing pool.
Okay,
So
so
we get a whole section of Smithtown Landing pool that's just for us.
okay, so there's no beach trips.
No, the only trip for the beach is the Coney Island trip for the 7th and 8th graders, but I'm not sure what that entails. I'm not sure if they're just going to go to the Coney Island theme park or the beach. I can find out more information about that. That is a brand new trip this year, so I don't know much about that one just yet.
Okay.
So here are the off-campus activities. We kind of went through those a little bit. That's going to be your Adventureland, your mini golf, your Metch trip, anything where the kids are going off campus. This year, if I looked at the schedule correctly, I actually have it up. Normally, we used to have swimming and bowling twice a week on the same day. But this year it has been changed due to COVID. So swimming is on Wednesdays and bowling is on Tuesdays. So instead of it being on the same day, we go one day for one day for the other. That's probably just keep the numbers down and to make sure that, you know, we're getting some time in between things. We're not all shoved on one bus. So that is Tuesday and Wednesday. We go swimming and bowling. They'll be there for about half the day. Normally when we go bowling, I'm sorry, I'm a teacher. I'm still in teacher mode. The campers are allowed to buy lunch. I'm not sure this summer because we didn't go bowling last year, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. If they are still allowed to buy lunch, we will let you know. Some kids buy, some kids bring. It just depends on what the parents want to do.
So they spend a half day at the pool.
Yeah, so it's about 3 hours at the pool. There's a slide. So by the time we get there, we get set up in the pool. We put their sunscreen on. We make sure they have a buddy. We get their wristbands on. Each child does have to wear a wristband in a designated color, meaning they are a swimmer or a non-swimmer. They have to pass a swimming test, but only if they are neck deep in the big pool. If they are shorter than neck deep, they do go to the smaller pool. The swimmers are only for the big pool. But we do have a lifeguard on campus, not on campus, on the swimming trips with us. It is a Camps R Us lifeguard on top of the lifeguards that are provided by the country club. They are only allowed to go on the slide if they do pass the swim test. They are given multiple opportunities to pass the swim test. If they don't pass it the first time, they are able to go home and practice. We do try to help them out. We do, the lifeguard will tell them, go from this point to this point. With swimming without putting your feet to the bottom, they will explain everything that they're looking for in the swim test if the child does not pass.
Yeah, he had swim tests in his previous camp that he went to, and he passed all of them. So, when
Perfect.
we go to the pool, he just goes off and he's down the slide, he's underwater, he's swimming, he's jumping off the diving board and stuff
Perfect.
like
The only thing we don't do is we don't do the diving board. It is against our regulations, but the slide is totally fine. We just go as a group. So usually half the group will go at once, only so the counselor watching them has a smaller group. And then we just rotate all the kids on the slide and they have a great time. When we are at the pool, our counselors do block off an area of the pool. So it's just our kids. So no strangers are kind of coming in and out and swimming with them. It's just our kids. And that's about it for swimming. And bowling, same thing. We have a section of the bowling alley blocked off. It's only for us. There are a few kids to a lane at once. The kids bowl, they have a great time. When they go to the bathroom, they are walked with a counselor. The counselor waits outside just to make sure, no one's wandering off. No one's trying to approach the kids that are not from our campus. I am usually on all of the swimming and bowling trips, unless for some reason I am not at camp that day. So there is always a director with the children as well. And that's kind of it for swimming and bowling. And then the trips, they do have all their staff with them. We do have the program director, which is me, goes on mostly all of the trips. Again, I don't know how they're going to be working this year completely because I don't know how they're going to look with COVID and the masks and how big the groups are. But once we find out more information, if you have any questions, we will gladly get you more information.
Alex, can you just go over our protocols about what we wear on trips when we leave campus, our bracelets?
Sure. So every kid is going to receive a Camps R Us t-shirt. When we leave campus, they have to wear their camp shirt. So when you're on campus, you do not have to wear your campus shirt. It's only when we leave. And then each child, on top of wearing a swimming and our non-swimming bracelet when we go swimming, they will also wear a wristband in the color that matches their campus. So St. James, we happen to be fluorescent pink. So when we go to something, say Adventureland, where you might have 3 or 4 or 5 Camps R Us campuses, and it's just a sea of children in the exact same t-shirt. It's all the Camps R Us t-shirts. They will all have a wristband with the corresponding color of their campus. So heaven forbid a child does walk off. Or at Adventureland, take example, there's that candy store at the end. All the kids like to go to get ice cream or candy for the way home. You have 30 children all in the same outfit in the exact same location. You can kind of look at their wristband and see what campus they're from. And if a child, get down. So if you ever have a child that might not be able to find their counselor, they know to approach anyone in a Camps R Us shirt and say, I'm from such and such campus. They have their wristband on and we will help them find their appropriate campus or their counselor. In my 7 years of being higher up at Camps R Us, I have never had that happen, but it is nice to just make sure that the kids are all properly labeled, just to make sure that we all know who they are and who they belong to.
Perfect. I'm going to move on to the next slide.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Do the little kids do swimming and bowling or just the big kids?
So it is from the kinder campers and up. is for swimming and bowling.
So second graders would do swimming and bowling.
Yes, first graders and second graders and kindergartners. The little ones are 3K program, so our Tiny Tots program. They do not go swimming bowling. They stay behind on campus. Anything else?
So I think Alex already touched upon this, both Alex and I, we talked about our staff and what we're trained in. We're trained in our food allergies from awareness by safer, our food allergy awareness by Safer Kids. She works with corporations and schools nationwide. So we really get a good handle on that. And then if your child, God forbid, gets hurt at camp more than a scratch, you will definitely hear from us. We will check in with you, let you know what we did, if you need for any reason to pick them up, anything like that. So registration information, this would be me. So our sessions, we have 8 weeks of camp. You can come between 2 and 5 days a week. You can mix and match. You can add usually at any time, again, as long as we have room and staff for your child. We ask for all the payments and everything. You do go online to see what your tuition would be, because it depends on how frequently you go, the number of days, how many children you have. So I can't just give you a outright ballpark figure. We also offer extensive discounts. So we do Long Island loyalty. Many employers have teamed up with us and give their employees discounts. So you can look right through that discount list. And sorry, I just have somebody coming in. You can look right through that discount list and click on all that apply to you. We don't process any payments at the campuses. Everything is done online through your Camp in Touch account. And that's also where you'll put all your health forms. So your child's physical, all their background history, things like that are all done. Hands, no papers to us, no money to the campuses. Again, if you're using before aftercare, that's also where your charges will come from as well. They're all put in there. EduCamp is free of charge. Soccer shots, we do have a weekly fee for. If you're signing your children up, you only pay for the days that they're there. And again, if you have soccer shots on Wednesday and your child's there on Wednesday and they're enrolled in soccer shots, you'll see your charge that evening for that day's lessons. Any questions on that? Awesome. Okay, so that's the end of our presentation. So Alex and I'll open it up more. Alex, I mean, she's doing a great job. So any questions you may have about our St. James campus?
If your kids have any questions, if they've been listening, please, we're willing to answer any questions you have, yours or your kids. I guess not. I guess we answered them all.
We like that. Okay, so we're gonna say goodbye for this evening. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach us at info@campsurrots.org or call our 1-800 number that goes directly to our main office. So if that's it, I'll stay on another minute, and otherwise have a great night and thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone.